Uw name Joel Potgieter.
Alright, so for those of you who don't know, I think you all know, but I'm Joel Potgieter, I'm 15 years old, and Pierre asked me to do this presentation on how I got interested in coins and what I collect. I was probably about 5 when I read this small, brightly colored book about how coins are made. That was the first time I was introduced to the concept of, hey, old coins can have value. I just never considered that coins might be collectible or have value before, but I was only 5. My uncle had a coin collection, and every time I'd go to visit him, he'd allow me to look through it and pick out one coin to take home. I was 7 when I bought my first coin, a silver 2.5-cent coin, purely for the novelty of the denomination on bit of buy. And later that year, we actually went on a trip to Rome, and I was able to buy my first ancient coin, which was a bronze Roman coin. I forgot the denomination exactly, from a numismatist. You can't buy ancient Roman coins from anyone else in Italy because there is legalization regarding the sale of antiquities, so you can only buy ancient coins there from a certified numismatist auction house. Yeah. Some of my past collecting fields included the ZR imitation pointer. I put together a set of the best I could find, but I eventually lost interest. Before that happened, I actually found 3 previously uncatalogued varieties, and which were confirmed as such by Michael Laidlaw, the author of South African Medallion website. I also collected the fiber coins, but I was frustrated that there was no logical and clear way to collect them. I didn't even know which coins existed and which coins did not, so I sold those.
How long ago was that you sold those fiber coins?
You were still
About 6
looking for
months
them
ago.
quite recently.
Yeah, 6 months ago. I collected quite a while back the American Lincoln cents just because they were everywhere, you could pick them out of coin trays. I completed a set of the memorial reverse ones and got plenty of the wheat cents, but I moved on from those to more interesting fields, so I sold most of them. One of my main collections that I've ever had is my ZR collection. I started about 2 years ago with those copper and silver coins, and the goal was to get them all in AU or MS condition, certified by NGC. It was an ambitious goal, but I actually got pretty far. However, earlier this year, I sold off most of my ZR collection to finance further numismatic purchases, and there are several that I do regret selling now. I've recently raised my collecting goal to include the Kruger gold coins and to exclude the lower AU grades like AU50 or AU53. This is going to make it a lot more difficult, but the end result will be much better. Like I said just now, I bought my first Roman coin when I was 7, and I've bought several Roman and Greek coins over the years, fascinated by their history and their age. I mean, one of them is actually on the table there, very, very small little one. I'm just fascinated how they could make such a thing 2,500 years ago. I'm no longer actively hunting them down, but I hope to be able to focus on this field more in the future. One of the crown jewels of my entire collection, it's a Greek coin, and it's still sitting there at NGC, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
It's this coin. This is a Lydia Lion third Vestator, which is the first type of coin, as we know it, ever made, a round piece of metal stamped by a government authority at a set value and weight. And I was lucky enough to get a reasonably cheap one on the internet. One of my large collecting fields currently, my largest I think, is Chinese cash coins. They were just interesting for me, and when I found out how abundant they are, how cheap they are, and how little known they are, then I thought, why not see how many I could find. I did some research, and the more I was able to find out about them, the more I wanted to collect them. So I would like buy a whole collection, get out half of them that are fake, and then catalog the rest. And to put into perspective, these cash coins were issued for 2,200 years straight. So, and it took America 8 years to mint their first million coins. In the 9th century AD, China was already minting more than 100 million coins a year. And when Jan van Riebeeck was at the Cape, for 4 years in a row, their production exceeded 2 billion coins a year. So there's a lot of them around, and they all look the same, so they just get lumped in as curiosities for most collectors. But I would buy them online, or Facebook, WhatsApp, all those things. I got a bunch of fakes, unfortunately, but they're relatively easy to spot because they're not worth, most of these coins are worth so little, they're not worth making top quality fakes. But it's not true for this field. This is my favorite collecting field at the moment, the knife and spade coins, issued by China from about 600 BC till it was discontinued by their first emperor in 220 BC. So these coins are made of casted bronze. They were imitations of farming implements and other tools that were used in barter at the time, but they were too small and flimsy to actually use for that purpose, and they are marked with usually with their place of minting and with some other inscription sometime. It's a difficult collecting field, one of the most difficult, because I'm sure many of you are aware ancient coins are very commonly faked, and these are Chinese ancient coins, which makes it that much worse. And then they were all made by casting, which happens to be the way most counterfeit coins are made, so it can be very difficult distinguishing real from fake coins, especially from a photo. I've seen even major auction houses list replicas accidentally as genuine coins. I've made a mistake and confused genuine coins with fake coins before because they're just so difficult to tell apart. In hand, it's much easier because then you can identify the encrustment, which they call the patina, on the coin, and you can also test if the metal is crystallized or not, because after 2,500 years of lying in the ground, the metal is crystallized all the way through. You'll actually see it on one of my knife coins over there, which broke in the post office, unfortunately. It's crystallized all the way through. There's no copper metal, it's just grey metal all the way through, even though it was cast bronze to begin with. So all these coins have to be all of my coins have to be imported. This one came from a Danish auction house through the post office in an envelope, and I still don't know how it survived, even though I paid for courier, but that's not the point. This coin, I bought most of them from one of the biggest dealers in the field, and the only two other coins that I didn't buy from that dealer is this one from the auction house, and this one which I got off eBay, which sounds horrible, but I got it checked out by 2 dealers, major dealers, and it also I did all the tests myself, and as far as I know, this is a completely genuine coin. Any questions?
Aren't you collecting silvered pennies as well?
Silvered pennies, yeah, is one of my. I've got quite a few side collections, like the blank coin planchettes, trying to get all of those. Silvered pennies are also curiosity items.
Got some more for you for sure.
Okay. Actually, I have to come by again because there are some things that I need scanned. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Pierre.
Thank you very much. Well done. Fascinating.
Thank you.
But worried there's no silver ends in there present. Or relieved.